As you will have already gathered by the title of this video, I am switching away from Canon and moving to Panasonic, and here's why. Let's start with a bit of background. The first DSLR I had was this. This is a Canon 400D. This doesn't shoot video, it does not have a flip out screen, it is no good for YouTube. However, it does still shoot great photos. I like the camera, this is what convinced me to get a Canon DSLR for YouTube. Before I did that, I got this camera. This is the Canon S120, it shoots great video and I still use it to this very day. Most of my B-roll is shot on this camera. Following the S120 I upgraded to this. This is a Canon 700D, I believe it's the T6i Rebel series in the States. It's a very good camera if you're starting out on YouTube, which is what I was doing. It has the flip out screen for doing the vlogging, it has removable lenses, microphone jack, all that good stuff. However, it shoots a maximum of 30 frames a second at HD, so there's not even 60 frames a second, hence the B-roll being shot on this. So I, like many others, have been waiting for Canon to come out with one of their small, maybe M series mirrorless cameras in 4K. However, they seem very reluctant to do it, and I think the only cameras that do 4K at the minute are things like the 5D Mark III and their cinema cameras, which are A, far too expensive, and B, far too bulky. So when I looked to replace this, I figured the best place to go was to the Panasonic, which is what I am shooting on now. Here's the box. This is the Panasonic G80 or G85 if you're in the States, and I believe the G81 if you're in Germany. Differences are very slight between those cameras, and essentially they all do the same thing. This camera has 4K at 30 frames a second, but it also has HD at 60 frames a second, so I will be able to do some nice slow motion on this camera. It has a flip out screen, it has interchangeable lenses, it has a microphone jack, it has a built-in time-lapse recording function, it has a panorama function. It is smaller and lighter than the Canon, it is also weather sealed, and for a party piece it has dual image stabilization. This camera has image stabilization in the lens, this camera has it in the body and the lens. Currently, the only advantages that this camera has over this camera is that this has 18 megapixels and this one has 16 megapixels, and this has an APS-C size sensor, and the Panasonic is micro four thirds. Unfortunately, I feel like Canon is neglecting its core market when it comes to cameras like the Rebel series or their M series of cameras. It's about time they move to 4K along with the rest of the industry, and let's face it, you can shoot 4K on your phone now, so the fact that you can't shoot it on a big camera like this or the newer equivalent just seems ludicrous to me. There's so many other options with Sonys and Panasonics out there that people are just going to begin to move away when it comes to shooting video, especially when they're starting out. The price is right and the features are almost there. If they added in 4K, they could take this market back in a second. So switching to the Panasonic does mean that unfortunately I now have several lenses that I will either have to adapt or just chuck away, including nice ones like this. Look at the fisheye on this lens. Sadly, it looks as if I'm going to have to reinvest to either adapt those lenses or get something equivalent for the micro four thirds, but I'm sick of waiting for Canon to get their act together, so I'm going to move on. I will of course do a more thorough review on the G80 when I have more chance to use it, and expect more 4K content coming from this channel via this camera. Let me know in the comments down below if you think I've made the right decision. Should I have gone for Sony? Should I have stuck with Canon? Or are you a Panasonic fan? If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. If you want more of this type of content, then hit that subscribe button if you aren't already. Otherwise, I will catch you in the next video.